Okay, well, thanks for getting on another Zoom, y'all, and listening. Totally in bed. All good. It's all good. That's the beauty of this. We're just gonna chat about it. We'll record it. You need to go back and watch it another time. It's all good. It's there. Um, and okay, so today we're gonna talk about the introduction. So we're going through the cycle of sales. We talked about pre-approaching, getting background information on people, knowing who you want to talk to, kind of knowing their story if you can, find it ahead of time. We talked about approaching them, talking to your cold market, your warm market, just initiating that conversation and getting in their inbox or talking to them in person, approaching them. Now, we're going to talk about what I think is the meat and potatoes of this whole cycle of sales, and probably like the most important part. If you ever hear anybody go through like the cycle of sales and they talk about the introduction, they will say this is where the sale is made or not made. And if you do it pretty good and you can work on this part, you will probably avoid many, many objections, and you will not have to go back and, re-explain things. So, um, let's I wrote down a few things. The introduction is going to be what most people do. They skip ahead and they go straight into telling people about products, right? They're like, here's my products. I love them. They're amazing. And I am so guilty of this myself. And I'm so guilty now, like I kind of forget like to make it more about them than about me. I've done so many times where I just message them. I'm like, hey, you should come do Bravenly with me. Hey, you should try my products, kind of thing. Totally done that. And sometimes it works, right? But sometimes people are like, block, no, not interested, don't want to do any network marketing, want nothing to do with it, right? So the introduction is allowing you to make it about them and not about you and your agenda. Because to be honest, I think everybody needs our products, but maybe not every single person does, maybe it's not for them right now, and that's okay. So in the introduction, we're going to make it about them, and we're going to be able to navigate a conversation and ask questions for them to realize that you aren't here to just sell a product, to just make a paycheck, to just have another number in your back office. You're really here to serve people, and you're really here to you know um love on them. So okay, a few questions I saw that I really liked is like, start thinking to yourself, do you build rapport with people? If you know what building rapport means, like, do you get to know them? Do you kind of have that little small talk, like a purposeful small talk? Building rapport is like getting a part of a relationship where people are starting to know, like, and trust you. Do you build that rapport with them? Do you talk more than you listen? Do you ask enough questions for them to do the talking? So if you can navigate a conversation really well, like you'll realize like you don't really have to say much. You just have to ask the questions and you let them talk. And I have found that people love to talk about themselves, and people love to they actually kind of talk themselves into purchasing something with you just asking the right questions. So I put, are you genuinely interested in them? Do you talk more or listen? And then here are 5 steps of the introduction. Okay. So 5 steps of the introduction. Number 1 is eliminate distractions. Now that's a little hard when you're like in Messenger talking to somebody, but if you're in person and maybe you're at a vendor event, maybe you're at the park, maybe you are at Target, I don't know, wherever you might be talking to people, maybe at your friend's house, maybe you're at a party, maybe you are in your cousin's living room. There's probably going to be distractions going on all over the place, but if you can try and eliminate the distractions, you're going to be able to, I don't know, the dog's barking. You're going to be able to have their focus on you in the conversation. And that's personally why in Messenger, I like to get them on a phone call um, or on a Zoom, but like this is kind of before all that. So anyways, eliminate the distractions so that they're really focused on the conversation going on. Number two is let's talk about building that rapport. Let's talk like, okay, so how do you do that small talk? How do you have those relationships starting? I remember Michaela was like, I'm really not good at small talk. I'm like, I don't know why I feel like that's my thing. I like small talk because I can just ask questions and then they do the talking and I don't even have to really talk much, which I am a talker and I won't talk. But sometimes if you just ask the right questions, like open-ended questions, they'll just take over the conversation and you're just, oh, tell me more about that. So with that, building rapport, that's where you'll hear a lot of people talk about form, 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 where I'm trying to like make this bigger so you guys can see whatever. I'll just share the screen and you'll see what I'm talking about here. I just Googled it. Here's my Google. So over here, so for form, family, occupation, recreation, it could be either money or message, either one. But conversation starters, right? So over here is like some common questions like, what do you like to do? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do in your free time? What do you like to do on the weekends? What do you usually do on the week? That's the same thing. What do you like to do? What do you usually do? I guess that's different. What do you usually do after work? What do you like sports, music, games? What kind of sports do you like? What do you enjoy doing? Do you enjoy traveling? Yada, 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 right? So you can ask them questions about their their family, like, oh my goodness, friend, let me see if I can get it bigger. Um, maybe if you've like started just looking at the background information, you started the conversation, just like, oh my gosh, I know we haven't chatted since like middle school, but I see like you're growing a family. How amazing. Like, how many kiddos do you have? How old are they? And start asking some questions about their family. Like, so where have you guys like planted your roots at? Are you still in Orlando or have you up and moved somewhere else? I can go probably look on their Facebook and they'll tell me they live in Austin, Texas, but I'm not asking the question, right? Um, you can say, do you guys have any pets in your family? Or like, have your kids gotten into any sports yet? Have you guys started kindergarten yet? Like, I'm going to ask questions about their family, which it's not just asking to ask. I want to know, I'm asking questions really to find out how busy they are. Because if they're busy, they're going to need some energy. And if it's a mom who's busy and they're like involved in their church, if I ask some questions, you know, oh, do you guys have you guys found a church close by? Like we're really looking for one here. And I'm just trying to, you know, if they live close by, I'd be like, which one do you go to? Like, what do you like about it? You know, I can start asking them questions about their family and if they're involved in the church or if they go to have any extracurricular activities, like, and so if, you know, I just think busy moms are like my thing. So if I can ask questions to see if she's busy, which really much most of the world is busy, then cool. Like I know how to navigate that, where to go with product and how to like later on down the conversation use that information to be like, well, girl, if you're anything like me and we have, you know, dropping kids off in the morning, they're going to school all day, I have to pick them up. It takes me 2 hours round trip for picking up kiddos. And then I had to be at the baseball practice field by 5 p.m. on Thursday. I know we're scarfing down foods and I'm just like totally exhausted by Friday because the week's been jam packed. I'm so glad I found some mushroom coffee that's helped me have energy, be happy, and just focus so I can keep everything in line over here. Right. So if I'm asking her questions, I'm like, well, I can relate to that mom who's like got everything going on. Occupation. You can ask some questions like, you know, are you still at the same job or have you found something new? How long have you been at the job? What do you like about your job? What do you hate about your job? Um, you know, like if you could like have your dream job, what would your dream job be? Most people are like, they don't really think about that question, especially now that we're like in our mid 30s, some, you know, 36, most of us are probably around that age. And like, are you, did you become what you wanted to be when you were a little girl? You know, or are you still like, you know, at one point I was like, I'm still trying to figure out like what I want to be when I grow up, right? So you can ask about their occupation. I mean, you can ask personal questions, but you can, you know, I don't know, like financial questions if you want. Are you making what you want to make? Which is super personal, so I don't know about that, but you can ask whatever you really want. Um, you know, when do you want to retire? Like, what would your ideal retirement look like to you? Who has asked that question to somebody? Probably not, right? So they're gonna be like, holy crap, this girl like really cares about like my retirement. I don't know, actually, I haven't even thought about retirement. All I know is I go to work every single day just to pay the bills that we have right now. Like, I didn't even think about down the road. But it's a real question. Like, people should be thinking about their retirement even in their 30s. I guess I get a little background from my husband being a financial advisor, and he's like, man, a lot of these people just wish he talks to them in their 60s, 70s, and they wish they would have started like compound interest and saving and IRAs when they were 30s and 36. Like, some people might not be asking them those questions. Like, what would your ideal retirement look like? What would you want to do when you retire? Get them to start dreaming, open up their minds. Recreation, that's kind of where it's like, okay, what do y'all do for fun? What do you like to do for fun personally? As a mom, like, what is your recreation? Like, what makes you happy? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? For me, it's like, lashes and hair, getting massages, right? Um, Everyone has a bucket list. We help to foster an outlook of excitement instead of apprehension. So if we can ask questions to get them excited about like fun things that they do. And this one says money, but it could either be money or in or message. Which at this point, like I usually do this in the messenger. So, you could ask about, I guess that could be money. Like what's the instrument that they use to achieve their goals? So form is just a way to kind of go through and give you ideas. I wish there was like better questions that I found. I know I have it somewhere. I got a worksheet somewhere about a team that did like a boot camp on this. The M, I guess you could even use for motivation. Like what motivates them, what drives them, what gets them excited every single day to get up and go to work. How are you motivated? I feel like in our 30s we've lost motivation. Like, are you motivated to work out? Most people aren't, right? Okay, so that's your building rapport. That's kind of like you can ask them questions to get them to start talking about them as far as connecting. Number three, so you eliminate the distractions, you started building the rapport, you can start relating with them on certain levels if they say things like, oh, we love to go to Disney. It's like one of our favorite things to do. Oh my goodness, well, I'm from Orlando. I know all about Disney life. I'll be honest, I really didn't like Disney until recently when I started taking my kids. I know it's crazy. So what's your favorite thing to do at Disney? Like, what's your favorite ride, right? And you can totally connect. Oh yeah, we love the teacups. We spin in circles. I get vertigo, but it's so much fun. I don't know. And then number three is uncovering needs. So you got to find the pain point. So this is like the part of your conversation of where you're finding their their needs, and that's where you're going to ask some questions of just how can they benefit from the product. So we can already start thinking about what are needs that our products fill. Well, what do our products do? We know this, gut health, right? Gut health is a huge thing that a lot of our products take care of. Focus, a lot of happiness, a lot of like mental clarity in there, some weight management, some joint support so they're not achy and their body doesn't hurt, some sleep support. So if we already know this is what our products fill, and this is like our tool to solve a problem. This is where you can start asking some questions to figure out where are they coming from? And Angela did that a really good job with giving us some examples of questions this weekend. And I was gonna have her share, but I'm like, no, the girls already notebook. Why do I have like way too many notebooks? This notebook is where it's at. Come and share some of the questions she asked, but she's so good at asking. Let's see. She also said, better listener than talker, ask questions. Maybe they've commented on your stuff and stuff, your posts or things too, and say, thank you so much for commenting on my post. You can like build some rapport in there, but then you could be like, so would you like more information? She asked that question. What are your top goals? Like, if you're in a conversation and it could lead to like them, if you're asking about them and being so busy, you can ask like, do you ever get like exhausted, girl? Because I get tired all the time, like with my kids and everything we have to do. Or I used to get so exhausted when we had so much to do. Do you ever get exhausted from all the activities? Sure, ask questions like that. Um, what are your goals? Like, what do you like? I've recently been working on my health and fitness. Have you, like, what are some of your health goals? Maybe we can help each other out in that aspect. Um, what are you, what, she asked questions because she's like going straight to like getting, these are people who have commented on her page, and she's going straight to asking these questions of like, what are your top goals? What are you hoping this helps with? What are your struggles? What do you struggle with your health? What are some health issues that you've had? And I feel like so many people nowadays, unfortunately, have health issues, right? There's a lot of hormone things that go on. There's a lot of high cortisol level stuff that goes on. There's a lot of maybe the gut issues. You can put in the chat like some of the things that we commonly hear about issues. But we number 3. Oh, Zoom number 3. Oh my gosh, you're right. I'm like back to the chat with that. So ask like questions about their health goals and what they struggle with. Like, maybe if it's someone that's like they ache, their ankles crack every time they get out of bed, like my dad. I always say like, I know my dad has arthritis, and so his joints hurt all the time, especially in the cold weather. Do you experience that? So get them to start sharing and opening up with you. And if you've built rapport and they kind of look at your page and they know what you're doing, they'll be more apt to open up to you. But just start asking some questions and just finding, yes, there they are. Energy, sleep, mental health, joint discomfort, weight management, inflammation, gut health. Yes, that's what a lot of people struggle with, and that's what we help with. So uncover their needs. Number 4 is create a buying atmosphere. So a lot of people, I feel like, totally skip that or don't really know what a buying atmosphere means. So if you ever go to the mall and you're walking down just really the middle of the mall and like someone has lotion, they're like, you need this lotion, come get this lotion. Here's a lotion. Let me rub the lotion all over you. I'm giving you lotion. You're like, wow, automatic no. So we can do that in people's messenger sometimes. We go straight up in their messenger, like, oh my gosh, you need the brew and this and that and this and that. And then you like all the things, like get the Fab Five, it's $312. You're gonna love it. And they're like, whoa, Becky, I don't even know like if I want it, right? So you can create the buying atmosphere by saying, hey, you may or may not like this. That's totally fine with me. It's not going to hurt my feelings either way if this is for you or not. But I definitely at least want to tell you about it. Are you open to it? When you tell people like, hey, this might be something you want to get right now, or you might not, that's okay. I think it takes the pressure off of them to be like, I feel comfortable that I can tell her no. And it's okay. And we have to be okay. Yes, giving them an out. We have to be okay if people tell us no, which is hard for me sometimes too. So we can give them an out or give them a way to be like, I'm totally in or no. And they're not really making this decision right then because you haven't even got to presenting your products at this point. You're really just asking some questions and you're just like, hey, this may or may not be for you, but based on us talking and how you've told me, like your kiddos, go to school all day, you have baseball, you rush around, you have tournaments on the weekend. You might like this, you might not, but I've found that it's totally helped and it's helped a lot of the other moms that are going through this as well. Is it something maybe like I can share with you? And if you're like letting them know it's okay to say no, they're most likely going to say yes. It's like a reverse psychology thing. We're like, it's totally cool if you tell me no. I am really fine. My emotions have been removed from this situation. Because if we can become a little like less offended when people tell us no, we're going to have a better attitude if they tell us no. We're going to still want to follow up with them. We're still going to love on them and we're still putting them at the forefront instead of us. Because if we get offended with the no, that's kind of more of a selfish thing on our part and not really having their best interest at heart. So, and it's also creating FOMO, exactly a FOMO thing. Like, why wouldn't it be for me? Then they get even more curious. Yeah. When someone's like, hey, this might not be for you. And I'm like, well, what if it is though? But it might actually be for me, right? Like, hey, like this boat might not be for you, but you might want to check it out. I'm like, I want a boat. Like, yeah, let's go see. That's a huge purchase, but so creating the buying atmosphere is getting them comfortable to say no. And just kind of ask them, but are you open to listen? It's totally like your goal is just to get them to be open to listen to what you have, not make a decision right then and there, but just be open to hearing you out. And so creating that buying atmosphere. And then number 5 is answer objections in advance. So if you can answer the objections in advance, I don't know, they used to tell us the first one to cover objections wins. Brittany Beck kind of said something a little bit differently with her closing. I'm going to try and get her on when we talk about closing so she can share. But here she had talked about basically covering objections too, and there's a way to like get people to share all their hesitations, and then you come in at the end and you're like, oh, well, if that's the only thing you've been worried about, that's no big deal. We can work through all of that. It's called a crew method. But anyways, in this part of it, answering objections in advance, let's think about what are objections that we normally hear. Like put in the chat. You might be sleeping to my lovely voice, but what are some objections that we hear? What are like the ways that people tell us no? I do that. I wrote some down, but I want to see if y'all come up with the same thing.
I don't have time. I don't have money. I couldn't do what you do. You're popular on social media. I don't have the following that you have. I've never had success before. Those are
Like, bam. Brittany must be sending messages because she's heard some rejection. That's good. That means you're doing the work.
them fools. They be coming for me and I'll be coming for them. I'm just kidding.
Like, okay, anything else? Is there anything else? Is there anything else? Oh, you ain't got the time, the money. Your spouse said no. You're broke. We can work that out. We can find a way. No big deal. Becky's told me the same thing too, so I totally know how you feel. I've actually felt the same way as well. What I've found is we've been able to find a way for everybody to feel better about wanting better sleep and losing weight and being happy. You'll kind of put a word in there, but that's like what I listed out was like mainly money. I feel like people give the money objection, and that's a thing where we aren't in objections yet. We'll do this later on, but like that's where you have to create value. And this is the part where you can create that value and ask some of the questions to create the value, such as like, I'm going to go through something here in a second, but you can create a value of like, so are you currently using anything right now to help with being exhausted? How much do you spend on those things that you use right now? Do you feel like that's worth it? Do you feel like it's helped with your problem? And so like if you can feel like where they're like hesitant for spending the money, you can start asking questions ahead of time to create the value of like, breaking down like how it's $250 a day. We spend more than that when we're looking for sodas, energy drinks, coffees, whatnot, just trying to fill the void. If you could only spend $250 a day, but you are skipping around your house, you're praising God, you're down on the floor with your kids playing again, would $250 a day be worth it? Yeah. Most people are like, oh, $250 a day. I know I spend that on like, I spend way more than that in toys, junk, and crap. My kids breaking out, grow, and I throw in the trash can. That has not helped me with my energy whatsoever. It's actually depleted the energy, right? So let's talk about covering objections in advance. And I want to share with you guys a thing called CLASP. I don't think I can write this without it. Yeah, maybe I can. Hold on. S. Why am I struggling right now? It's been like the longest day ever. CLASP. Okay. Used to think it was the funniest thing to do when I worked at K Jewelers, but once I started doing it, close 9% of sales. Wait, doing what? Asking the questions or telling them the value?
The feel felt found.
It works.
Like when my manager sat down into my one-on-one, she was like, you got to start coming with feel felt found. And once you say, oh, I felt that way too, but what I found or feel felt, you know what I mean? And they used to come to me so quickly and people would be like, oh, okay, then you just made it seem super easy. And like, okay, well, let's go ring it up. And I'm like, all right, cool, easy, done deal. So like the feel felt found method, you don't always have to use those 3 specific words in like, oh, but what I feel is what I felt and what I found. You can just use other words, but I kid you not, it usually always close the deal for everything.
Yeah, I was selling like if like book wise, they were like $400 or $500 books, and these were people who lived in like single wives in the hollers of West Virginia, and they would be on disability, and they like have a fixed income, or they were teachers, or they did nothing. I don't know. And they try to give me the money objection. I'm like, I totally know how you feel. I'm a broke college kid. I have felt the same way. Trust me. I'm on the ramen noodle diet over here. But what I found is investing in education is priceless. Like if you know that these books could help your kids have a life that you really, have told me you wanted, because we'd ask questions beforehand, and be like, be able to do something more with their life. Wouldn't it be worth the investment? Would it, I mean, I'm like, they break down to like $10 a book, but if it made them learn more, like would it be, so I don't know, whatever. So I forgot something like that. And they're like, well, yeah, I'm investing in education. This here is we're investing in our health. We're investing in our health, which isn't always a priority for people. And I know it, especially moms, we kind of put our own health on the back burner. But if we can help these moms to see that they're worth it, that they do deserve to have good health, because if they're not in good health, and they're not happy and their body's not working right, the rest of the family kind of crumbles sometimes. Moms are like the rock here. And so, I mean, the dads do a lot too. And my husband does a lot. And I'm not discrediting, like, he needs to take care of himself and his health too. I value his health as well. But I just feel like we talk a lot to moms. It's like, if we can paint that picture through asking some questions right now in this introduction and getting to know her and feeling like, how she could be struggling and how she's frustrated and how she's crying on the couch or in the closet. Like if we can get to that deep conversation, then the rest of sharing our products is going to be so much easier, because we have the value there and they see the value. And so we can start asking some things and working on CLASP to cover those objections right now. Write down some good ones that Brittany Beck said to for each objection. Yes, there's so many good things. She needs to share her notes. Okay, let me tell you the CLASP. Okay, so number C, or number one, whatever, the C. If people might be using similar stuff, we can totally use this, or you can use it whatever. But let's say like she's got another health and wellness company, right? That she's using. You ask, C is for currently doing. What are you currently doing? Okay, girlfriend, like you just told me you're super exhausted and you have no energy. What are you currently taking to help with that? What are you currently doing to give you some more energy? Most people are going to tell you energy drinks, sodas, coffees, or another company, usually. Cool. And then the L, I'm going through it quick, but the L of CLASP is, what do you like? And this is where I think it's going to make us differentiate from other people who just go straight into like, here's my product. You should buy my coffee. You need this. We're taking the time to really get to know this person and invest in them. And you're asking, what do you like about it? Most people are so afraid to ask them what they like about their current situation. If they're using another company's product, you don't even want them to think about what they love, right? You're like, oh my gosh, don't remind them what they actually like about it. No, no, no. It is such valuable information for you to know what they like about their current product if they're in another company. What do you currently love about it? What do you love about those products? Oh my gosh, it's easy to do. They taste good. They, I feel good in the morning, whatever. And if they say that, that's awesome. Cool. What do you currently like about if they're in a company? What do you currently like about the business? Let them share. I love I can do it from my phone. I love that we have a system, whatever it might be that they love. Let them resell themselves on the things they love, because we probably have that here too, that they'll also love, but it's okay. Let them go to that positive point. Okay. And then first you ask them what they love, and now ask them the A, what would you alter? What would you change? Okay, you love that they're easy, you love that you're close to the CEO, but what would you like to be different? What would you, what would you want different? And they might be like, they might tell you that the products are easy, but they taste like crap. They might tell you that, oh my God, I love the products, but we have 70 of them and I don't even know where to go, where to start. And I don't even know how to share that with people. I love that I'm close to the CEOs, but I know too much information. I love that we're fun and bubbly, but that might also turn people off. You know, I don't know. Get them to tell you what they would change or alter. I just really wish our customer service was better. I wish they were faster and nicer. I really wish that like the cancellation policy of a VIP was easier for them to do and they didn't have to do XYZ, whatever it is, right? Gather as much information as you can about what they love and what they would change, because then you'll ask, okay, cool. So if I were to tell you about, you know, some amazing things that would totally help you, this is where you want the S. They said it's for signer. So you want to get all this is kind of for like if you're really selling big items as well. And you might need other people's like decisions in there. But this is going to cover probably the husband objection, the friend objection, or whatever, the mom, whatever objection you might get. But like I would ask, okay, if I were to tell you about something that would totally help with what you want, you know, what, just reiterate what she says. If I could show you something that would totally help you with your health, like, do you think we should tell your husband too? Do you think that like your mom should know as well? Do you think we should share with your friend as well? Like try to find a decision maker. You want the decision maker, like who's going to make the decision? Should we run this by your husband too? You know, cause like then they can't give you the husband objection later. If you have the signer, whoever makes the decisions, that could be a quick thing, just kind of in our situations, like, I feel like most people make their own decisions, but sometimes if they're trying to buy like a $300 pack and they're like, oh, I gotta ask my husband, or you know, if they're signing as a brand partner and they want the $7.99, oh, I gotta ask my husband kind of thing. Well, if I were to show you something that would totally allow you to try every single product, do you think we should share this with your husband as well? Like, you know, is it something that he'd want to be a part of? Do you think it'd be a decision he'd want to make with you? I don't know. And then P is the presentation, and that's when we go into sharing more about the products and what will come after the introduction. But you can totally clasp them by going through those steps. And then I wrote this down. If you had a product that had, and you share what they liked, if you had a product that had, and go back to what they loved, if you had a product that tasted good and it was easy and it had great marketing and great branding, would you be open to hearing more? If you had a product that tasted good, it was easy, it had great branding, but it also had amazing customer service. You could get products for free. You could earn credits. You could build a business without a team. Would you be open to hearing more? So reiterate what they loved. Let them know that we also have things that what they didn't like from their previous place, we fixed here. And then you can, if I would you. I know this is a lot. I feel like it's hard to like me just talking. I'm like, kind of need them like the class written down in the form, but I'm sure there's a worksheet somewhere I can find to share with us. But anyways, that's basically the introduction, is just asking those questions, getting to know them more, like getting a deeper conversation, leading the conversation to where you want it to go so you can navigate how you present the products, which products to present, which products to tell them about, and like how to explain them by using their own words. So many times people are like, they want weight loss. What do I share? A lot of our things help with weight loss, but was there more to it? Was there a mental health aspect? Were they like super depressed? If they want weight loss and they want mood, then I would go with Ignite, right? And probably Peru too. But then you can go back and you'd be like, if I were to show you something that would totally help you be a happier person and you weren't as sad and you didn't have as much stress or anxiety, with great customer service, and it was super simple, like, would you be open to hearing more about it? Even if they're with another company, they're gonna say, yeah, because they just told you what they liked and they just told you what they didn't like, and they brought it to their own awareness that there are things they don't like over there. And you're letting them know, hey, we got something that could fill that gap. So anyways, that's a lot. Anybody have anything else to add or say, or if we want to just go to bed, we can, because I know it's like 10:15 for Eastern Coast people.
So can I give a couple examples real fast, just based off of what she said? I don't know, they just helped me a lot and I can go over it in like 30 seconds. Just with the objections part of it, with what Brittany was saying, like the money objection too, like I know Kristen, you say this and it was just confirmed this weekend too, like, okay, what do we have that you can sell? Because she's like, she said that if you are too shy to pitch the $700 package, then you don't have enough belief in what we have our hands on. And so she was like, I understand $700 is a big investment, but what else besides money is holding you back from making the investment? Because the whole thing is like what Kristen said, like, let's figure out today what we can sell, you know, like what can we do? Provide a solution for that. Like she said, for the time one, I get that, you know, you have a busy schedule. If I give you a step-by-step guide to fit this into your schedule, would you be open to that? Because we do have, like, everything is so step-by-step here that it's not overwhelming. Like if they've done this before and a lot of people have PTSD from it, but this is different here. It's different people, a different company, different timing. You can't really compare apples to oranges. And then if they've never done it before, for sure, I totally get that. Like we have day-by-day training on the job while you get paid. Like while you're getting paid, we have day-by-day training for you. And so it's like, if I could solve these hangups, would this be something you would be interested in? And then make sure to close in the moment while you have them, which is something I'm really guilty for, is why it's so important to get them on the phone or on a Zoom or a three-way call or something, because text messages go by and they might have a feeling in the moment. And then when you have a chance to respond, you know, 2 days later, when your kids start behaving, you've kind of lost them in that moment. So, and then the last thing was like, do you want me to call you to walk you through the process, or do you have it? So, sorry, that's what I had.
I love it. No, we're gonna go through more of that too, because we go through like the presentation, I'm sharing the products, the closing, and then answering objections. So if you can like kind of address some of those right at this point and asking some of the questions of like, you know, who, you know, if she needs her husband or time, you know, the time objection. You can totally say that in voice clips before they even give you some of those objections. Danielle's like, I'm tired, I gotta go. Okay, ladies. Well, that was a great evening of Zooms, and I'm sure we're zoomed out, but we will see you at, let me stop.